Hello, this is Robotics. You can find me on Twitch and YouTube where you're watching now, and Instagram. I'm an electrical engineer. I work full time. I also do consulting and I stream on Twitch. Um, Today I want to make a video that's central around PCB design, but more on the manufacturing side. And I am going to focus on how to use Altium to generate the files you need for a turnkey solution. So let's hop into the main content here. So I have a design all ready to go here. This is a design I came up with for St. Patrick's Day this year before the whole pandemic scare. So I have a simple circuit board that has Bluetooth, a bunch of lights and stuff on it. Maybe I'll jump into this design in a different video. But now this design's done, the main question I get a lot on stream is how do I get this made, or what's the steps here? This video is going over what I'm calling as a turnkey solution. So you can Google it if you search PCB Turnkey. You can get a bunch of different options in here. Some are based out of the US, some are in China, some are in other areas of the world. And what a turnkey solution means is that you provide the manufacturer with a file to make the circuit board, but also a file for the components on the board called a bill of materials, and also the pick and place files on here. So on all these sites you'll see a fabrication quote and an assembly quote. There's kind of two different options they give you. I'm not partnered or anything with this site. I just pulled up the first site I saw here. So okay, so what they are looking for from a manufacturing side is the files of how to basically draw this circuit board in copper. So to do that, what you have to do is do File, Fabrication Outputs, and Gerber Files. It'll start from this general setting, so whatever units you're working in or want to work in, it automatically converts between the two, so it doesn't really matter. Kind of the resolution of the format. For the layers, you need at least these top 8 layers to get a circuit board manufactured. The overlay is the text on the solder mask here. Paste tells them where to paste the solder paste when they go to solder the parts. The solder is the actual copper exposed layers, and the top layer is all the copper and traces all combined. And then you have the same thing for all the bottom layer. And then also you will need the outline layer to tell them essentially how to route or cut or V-cut the circuit board. So once you get those all selected, you can go to drill layers. You want to click on this plot all use drill pairs. This will pull the drill files, drill settings into the Gerber as well. Apertures you can leave as default, and advanced you can leave as default unless you know what you're doing and want to change something. So you click OK. This will generate it's called a CAM file in Altium, and it pulls up their other software called Camtastic. Yeah, close these two. Inside here you can look at what you just generated. So if you turn everything off, you can go one by one to see what each thing looks like. So this is a solder pads for this. This is the copper layer. Altium is a little glitched right now, so it's showing that all these are checked when they're actually not. And so it's sometimes Altium's GUI doesn't update. So if I went somewhere else and came back, or if I opened up a different file and came back, it'd probably clear that, but that's okay. Anyways, so now we're here. So we got that. That gives them all the manufacturing data they need to basically lay out the copper. The other file they need is called a drill file. So it's down here, the NC drill files. Again, match your units to probably what you just did for your Gerbers. Usually it's all default settings. Hit OK. This will generate another Camtastic file that wants to set up the grid for here. And what this tells them is all the drill locations as a file. So when they put this into their drill machine, it knows what bit to use. So if they have a tool changer, however they load it, and where the drill should go. Okay. So after that, that's how they manufacture all the circuit board. They have all the drills, they have all the copper laid out. So now they need to figure out how to place these parts in the right location. For that, you need to go to Assembly Outputs and do this Generate Pick and Place file. Down here, you could set the units down here. You can show units if you want. There's a separator, it means the actual separator between numbers. If you change this to a comma, now there's commas between here. And then format-wise, you can do a CSV or a text. Most companies are fine with either. One thing to pay attention to in here is, depending on how you design an Altium, is you might have fake parts in here. In my case, I use test points as a library part that's just a solder. It's a solder pad, but it's not an actual part. So these are all actually not real parts in here. So I want to delete those out after I exported everything. Sometimes you'll find like mounting features in here, like screws, or people do different ways they design things into here. Some of these columns, these ones are pretty much the required ones. Need designator, comments, that doesn't really matter. You need the layer, the footprint doesn't matter, you could get rid of that. You need the center, X and Y locations, the rotation, and usually description does help. So we click OK. This one does not pop up in the actual files here. So what you'll have to do is go to your actual project, and inside your design folder you're in right now, you will see a new folder that's been generated. So in my case, here's my design. And now I have this project output for this. There's a bunch of extra files in here, so I'll show you the main ones that you need. So here's all your Gerber files. Altium opens them automatically, so they all have the little Camtastic logo here. But if you didn't, you just want to look for files that start with G's for extensions. Those are your Gerbers. These extra files are used by Altium to generate different things, so you don't really need those for the manufacturer though. The drill file comes out as a text file. It doesn't say anything, it just says text, but if you open it, it'll say a bunch of basic G-code commands of where to put the holes at, what sizes they are, everything the manufacturers need. And then you have your pick and place files here. So generally, what you'd want to do is zip up all these to a single basic manufacturing file. Send to zip. Oh, that was actually a Bluetooth transfer. I send to zip file. And this right here is what you want to send to your PCB manufacturer. They will need some other information. Usually they'll ask you basics such as your layer stack, your design rules were of how you use your space and trace, finish type, those types of things. I'll cover those in a different video. This is just for kind of what files they need to get up and running. Manufacturing and assembly files done, and we do need to generate the bill of material to let the manufacturer know what files what components they need to source. So to do that, go to reports. There's a bill of materials report here. That will open up an additional screen here, this one. So this has all the basic starting up columns. The main things that the manufacturer will need is really the manufacturing part number and manufacturer. So I'm going to go through and eliminate the other ones. So they usually have footprint in there. You don't need footprint. Turn that off. These are the library reference, which you don't need also. For me, I have a lot of mix and match designs between Altium and my own naming scheme. So usually I try to throw in all the manufacturing part number stuff I can see, and then I have to consolidate them afterwards. I really just need to fix my library is what it comes down to. The trick to this is you can group these up by different parameters. Right now it's grouped up by comment, but it's actually a better method to group it up by manufacturer part numbers. So in this case I do have part numbers, looks like multiple ones here, but to group something up, what you can do is just drag this into this group by column section here. So it worked in this case for these couple parts, but the other parts here above didn't have that, so I just grouped everything else together. So in this case it's not a great way to do it. You can also stack these. Do manufacturer part number there. We do that one. And we do this one. Then I'll break them all out into a better section. This is the way you usually want to do it. If you do group up by comments, a lot of times you'll get differing parts. When that happens, if you look at the description, there'll be a comma and be a big drag on of everything else. Like if I remove these other ones, You can see that all the descriptions just add on to each other in here, so you don't want that. So you want to group up by part manufacturer part numbers. Then you hit export. Now I'll throw that into project outputs, and you can include that with your zip file that you just created. Trying to think if there's any other. Oh yeah, no, one more note for manufacturing these. If you go to your project folder again, so in this case, let me go to my design folder. This one. So this gets generated every time you generate a file, and there is a potential that this can get overwritten every time you generate an output file in a way. So one safe way to do this, if you're sending to multiple manufacturers or you're sending multiple revisions, is just rename this, add the date at the end, so that way when it regenerates this folder, it doesn't kill whatever you already sent out. So you might get a lot of mismatch of when you send files out not knowing what the version, what package you sent to someone. And I guess one more thing quickly, in Altium you can also add a output job file. I'll cover this in a different video, but it's kind of a sneak peek. That basically all that stuff you just did manually, you can put in here to click one, basically generate, and it'll do all this different things for you. So I'll do another video on that to cover the general output job that I use for my designs here. So yeah, that's it for this. Appreciate if you like the content. Make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to do more electronics work. I specialize a lot in Altium and circuit design, but I might try throwing in some embedded software, just technology stuff. I'm going to do a follow-up video to this for more manufacturing, for if you're going to make your own circuit board. So if you're not having a turnkey solution, you're doing an actual build yourself, what you need. And then also kind of what to keep in mind for PCB design and pertains to manufacturing and cost and everything else. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will catch you later. See ya.